We are currently a month of the way through year number 6 here in the Chicago White Sox franchise here on MLB the Show 25. And things are not going well. We are 11-17. As we take a look at this stretch over the last 3 or so weeks, there's a very common theme, and it's that our offense has been really bad. Ever since we scored 8 runs in a loss against Boston, we've not put up more than 6. That is a long stretch of games. We've lost 7 of our last 8. We are just not playing good baseball, flat out. It feels like the team is broken a little bit. To think we were 1 win away from winning the World Series, and now we are at the back of the AL wildcard race. We're only a month of the way through the year. I don't necessarily want to overreact, but this team seems like it's missing something. Our pitching really hasn't been that bad. We're 8th in team ERA. And in terms of the other major pitching stats, we're towards the middle. We are 28th in walks. But otherwise, we're roughly average to above average in pretty much everything else. The pitching's been a little inconsistent this year, but I wouldn't necessarily say they've been a problem. 29th in fielding percentage, though. Our defense has costed us some runs, although that might be the least of the problems with the position players, which we'll be getting to in a second. But nonetheless, I think Framber Valdez has been a great signing so far. He's been as good as advertised. Hayden Wesneski's been worse than last year, but he's not allowing runs. Noah Schultz has looked good, especially those first couple of starts. Obviously, we are having to replace Drew Thorpe, who we found out in the last episode will be getting Tommy John surgery. We will not see him at all this year. And we also lost Brock Burke to a torn rotator cuff. He was playing really well. That is a huge loss for the bullpen. We made a lot of additions in the bullpen in the offseason, and we're going to need these new guys like Uribe, King, Merced, the rookie, who has been up and down, but has really come into his own after a slow start. Uceta, Romero, we need all of these guys to really step up with the loss of Brock Burke, who was one of the veterans of the bullpen, who's been here for a little while, like Ezra. Offensively, we're towards the middle in home runs. In terms of extra base hits, we are roughly above average, tied to 13th in triples, a little closer to the back in doubles at 22nd. Stolen bases were towards the middle. Walks were exactly in the middle. Strikeouts were tied for 19th, so again, roughly average. The one problem is the contact, or should I say the lack of. Where are we in terms of batting average? We're not in the top 10. We're going to keep scrolling. We're not in the top half. We're not in the top 20. Where are we? Okay, what's going on? Where are we? Well, we are in dead last by a lot. 221 average as a team through the first 28 games of the year. That's not good. Everything else about our team, while you could argue has underperformed, hasn't been horrible. We're tied for 27th in runs because we're not getting enough guys on base. We're not hitting for enough singles. Kyle Teal, Shane Schmidt, Edgar Caro, Cam Smith, these guys were supposed to be our stars. The 4 of them combined are barely hitting above 200. Caro at like 220 is the best of the group. That is a problem. A big problem. Clearly, the losses of Luis Robert and Ketel Marte have really hurt this offense. Oswaldo Escobedo is really the only guy who I would say had been consistently playing above expectation, and he got hurt, and he'll be out likely until the middle of June. Cam Smith is also on the injured list. He's been putrid. To be fair, so is pretty much all of our other relevant players. He's not alone. I'm hoping the time on the injured list can help refresh him a little bit, and he'll be good as new once he is healthy. I talked about some format changes in the last episode. We're going to be going through more games and more time in each episode, so we're going to be doing less in terms of other things, including the wheel. Not that the wheel is going away entirely. If you want more of an explanation, I went into more detail in the last episode. You, of course, can check out the series playlist. But with where we are at 11-17, I think we have to make some roster moves. The team, as it is right now, is not good enough. And with the injury to Brock Burke, we need another arm in the bullpen. I'm going to sign a familiar face. Tony Santillan has been here over the last few years. One of the good things about Brock Burke is that he's been here. Pretty much the entire bullpen is comprised of new players. So I think having a guy in Santillan who's already been in the clubhouse, who knows the guys already, I think makes sense. For 1 year, we're going to offer him $6.7 million, and he says yes. Our high-leverage strikeout king is back. Nobody ended up signing him in the offseason. We're going to add him to the squad. I thought about making a trade, particularly for an outfielder. Braden Montgomery, when is the breakout going to happen? He's 26 years old at this point, and it hasn't happened. He's had one really good year. Dane Myers has been disappointing. The combined age of him, Corey Julks, and Daniel Schneemann, the three of them, is over 100. The youngest of that group, Schneemann, is 33. But there's no outfielders available on the trade market, so I think we have to look at free agency. Yes, Mike Trout is 38 years old, but what do we really have to lose at this point? Trout's not the same player he once was, but he's still highly productive. He's only a couple years removed from an OPS above 900. He's not the defender he once was. He's not as fast as he once was. But, I mean, this is still an 11-time All-Star, 9-time Silver Slugger, 3-time MVP. One of the greatest players ever. And my thought is we're kind of just throwing stuff at the wall and hoping it works. And maybe 38-year-old Mike Trout is just enough left in the tank to help save our team. BMO is one more minor league option. He will go down to AAA. We're going to kind of soft launch Trout into a big role. I don't necessarily want him to play every day right away. Ideally, he doesn't play every day at all. He is 38 years old, you got to keep in mind. And I would rather just kind of use him as more of a specialty piece. I think the plan is he's going to platoon. He's going to play a few days a week, especially against lefties. We are going to player lock his debut, though, against the Milwaukee Brewers and Joe Ryan, the talented righty. The Brewers currently 15-14. An exciting opportunity for us as we look to turn the page on what was an abysmal month of April, and I'm hoping with the additions of Mike Trout and bringing back Tony Santillan, who's been a key glue guy for us, this can kind of be the start of our team figuring some things out going into the month of May, leading into June. I don't know exactly where we're going to stop in June. I think I'm just going to kind of base it off sort of what feels right with where we are in the episode. It's not necessarily a set point I'm targeting. But let's player lock this game here with Mike Trout. 38 years old. He's been in the league for almost 2 decades. Obviously one of the greatest players ever. 3-time MVP with the Angels. Had some good years in this series with the Orioles. Sure, he's regressed a lot, but I'm hoping there's just enough left in the tank for him to give us some power and contact production. The Brewers are 2-8 in the last 10. We're 1-7 in our last 8. Both teams have hit the struggle bus. Both teams need wins. Us especially, given that we have to leapfrog 4 teams in the AL Central, or at least 6, 7 teams in the AL wildcard picture. And the division's been really disappointing so far. Nobody's above 500. We're only 3 games back. That's why I think we can be a little bit patient, at least for now. See what happens with the additions of Trout and Santillan. Get Cam Smith back and see what happens. Hagen Smith is on the bump. He has not been great this year. Remember last season, he missed most of the year with injury. We kind of turned him into a reliever. He's back in the rotation. Things haven't really gone well. As the game is tied at 1 going into the bottom of the second. Solo homer for Kyle Teal. That's good to see, given that he really has not played well at all so far this year, pretty much hitting the Mendoza line. We'll show the entirety of Trout's first at-bat. Strikes out a lot. That's one of the weaknesses of his game and has been for a while, but he's got good discipline. And even at 38 years old, still has a lot of raw power and can hit for some contact as well. 1-0 from Ryan is fouled away, and the count is evened up at 1-1. Even though Mike Trout is not the player he once was, I mean, there's a reason why he was available in free agency. I still think adding another elite player, a former MVP to the locker room, will be helpful for the younger guys. And for Mike Trout, he's never won a championship. He's never made the World Series. So you bet he's hungry for the opportunity to win. As he belts this one into center field, it's got some carry, but it is caught for the second out of the inning. We're going to fast forward a little bit, moving into the bottom half of the fourth. Tyler Fitzgerald, a 2-run homer for the Brew Crew, so they lead at 3-1. We could use a spark. Maybe that will be from Mike Trout. First pitch, crushed into left! Mike Trout, welcome to the south side of Chicago. In his first game as a White Sox, sends it into the seats. We're tied at 3. 396 for Trout, turning back the clock. What a moment for Mike Trout, and a big spark for a White Sox team who needs it. Throughout the year, we had not been getting big hits like that. But by adding a veteran player in Mike Trout, who has not been infected with White Sox disease or White Sox cooties, whatever is going on with the dugout, with everybody not being able to hit, it's contagious, but he hasn't caught it yet. Shane Schmidt solo homer. We have the lead. Going into the bottom of the 6th against Bo Brisky, liner to third. Trout's hit the ball well in all 3 at-bats today. Only 1 hit, but I like what I've seen out of him. We're going to go all the way into the 9th. Trout not getting another at-bat. Ezra's in a little jam. 2 on, 2 out, and he gets the save. The White Sox win it 4-3. Mike Trout, in his debut, wins the player of the game. 1 for 3 with a pivotal 2-run shot. And without that homer, I don't think we would have won the game. So the Mike Trout era is off to a great start. A huge reason why we won today. And hopefully this can kind of be the start of a little turning point for us, given that we've played really poorly. We've lost 7 of 8. That's not good. Still a lot to work on, though. We only had 5 hits. 4 extra base hits is good. 3 walks is not bad, but we had 1 single. That's been the problem for us throughout the entire year. We're not getting the easy stuff. We've got to get more hits. That's not enough base runners. We're lucky that we hit for power and the pitching was good enough to not let our lack of hits be an issue. I kind of want to play against the Cubs in Wrigley. They are on the opposite end of the pendulum as us. They've played really well. So we'll wrap up the Brewers series. 3 against Houston, 4 in Kansas City. Big interdivision series with the Royals. 3 against the Marlins, and then 3 on the road against the Reds. Pretty much all of those teams are right around 500. So an interesting opportunity for us as Ha-Seong Kim is in the midst of a 10-game hitting streak, all of which date back to last year with the Angels. Kim hits this ball high and deep into right field. Back at the track, at the wall, it is gone! First game as a White Sox. Ha-Seong Kim sends one into the seats. His first home run of the year. And the White Sox bring it within 1, as it's now 3-2. A fun opening moment for Ha-Seong Kim, looking to make a first impression with the White Sox crowd. Trout homers in his debut. Kim does as well. Corey Julks with a 3-run homer to win the game, 7-5. We end up winning the series, taking 2 of 3. I'll gladly take that against a strong Brewers team with clutch hitting and a lot of power. We're still not getting enough base hits. We had 10 in this game, which is better. We've relied on our power here against Milwaukee, and luckily, it was enough to win the game. Jackson Chourio, 8 homers already, hitting .333. I swear, every year in April, he turns into Hank Aaron. It's every year he does this. I'm curious to see if he comes back down to earth, or if maybe this year he can carry over the success. Solid outing for the big free agent signing Christopher Sanchez, who has not played very well this year for Milwaukee. Julks, 3-run homer. Brian Ramos, 4 for 4. He's hitting .314 this year. He's been amazing. Framber Valdez had probably his worst game of the year, but the bullpen was great. Santillan with the win. He's looked really good since coming back. And then we scored 10 runs in the very next game against the Astros. So maybe this is the turning point that we've been looking for. Wagner, Ramos, Schneemann all go deep. Wisniewski against his former team, 6 solid innings. Brian King also against his former team. 3 innings out of the bullpen to get the save. Here in this second game, we're down 7-0. But we've got bases loaded. Ha-Seong Kim, 11-game hitting streak. Maybe, just maybe, we can start a little miracle. Kim up the middle. That goes for a hit. The hit streak up to 12. That should score 2. Is it time to put your rally caps on, kids? The White Sox have it within 5. Look, there's still only 1 out. Maybe we have a chance to do some damage. No. Well, somebody did damage, but it wasn't us. Stephen Kwan, 2-run single. Astros win it 9-2, so they split the series. 2 blowouts so far. And that would bring us into a pivotal Game 3 against Houston. We'll see if we can get the job done and win the series against a scrappy underdog Astro team. Joaquin Hernandez, 4 for 4 for Houston. Mason Wynn is hitting .330. We almost signed him. He ended up going for much bigger money than I expected, but maybe we missed out. He's been great this year. We could use him in our lineup where nobody's hitting. Only 6 hits. Not enough. Noah Schultz and Bruno Merced both really struggling on the mound. So a pivotal last game, and we trail 6-7. Bottom of the 8th, we've got 2 on, 1 away. Colson Montgomery, who, believe it or not, really hasn't been the problem in terms of the contact. He's hitting .260, but he only has 1 homer and 5 extra base hits. He's hitting for no power. As he flies out to left, we're going to hold the runners. Basically, the anti-Colson Montgomery, the issue throughout his career has not been the power. It's been the contact. There's a big strikeout. It's Kim who goes down swinging. Felix Bautista gets out of the inning, and the Astros would end up winning it by the final score of 8-6. So we lose the series. We're 3-3 so far today, which isn't horrible. I was hoping we would do a little better in this 6-game homestand as well, especially against the Astros, who are in a similar spot as us in terms of the standings, with a lot of teams in front of them in the wild card race, but also still at least somewhat in the mix. The offense has been the issue throughout the year, but it's hard to blame them in this game. We had 9 hits, 6 runs, Trout with a triple. The pitching was just really bad. Higgins-Smith allowed 6 earned runs. His ERA starts with a 6, and then the bullpen was not great either. Cam Smith is back, just missed out on the opportunity to play his former team. We're going to have Chase Mydroff go down to the minors. Trout pulled back muscle. I'm expecting to see a lot of that. As we go into the series against the Royals, we lost the first game 12-8. So again, the offense not the problem. Here we are in the second game. It's 2-1. Ezra Valenzuela having a little trouble sealing the deal, but Merrill puts it on the ground to short. Schneemann makes the play, and the White Sox snap their little mini 3-game losing streak to tie the series up at 1 with 2 to go. That's a big win for us. Shout out the pitching. Framber Valdez was terrific again. 8 shutty. At 36 years old, Framber Valdez has never looked better. The offense was not great. 7 hits. We did draw 4 walks, but we did enough because the pitching was amazing. Valdez's ERA sitting at 2.08 on the year, an early season Cy Young candidate, as he continues to be one of our lone bright spots on the year. Let's go into this last game. We lost game 3, 3-2, so we've got to win this one to tie this series. Down by 1, Cam Smith working an 8-pitch at bat against Miguel Lozano as he hits this ball high and deep into center field. Back at the track, not really. It did not have enough distance as it is caught by Merrill for the first out of the inning. I thought it was going to keep going, but it just kind of slowed down there late. Edgar Caro now averaged down to 214, and that's still good compared to our other stars. Skies it into the air. That one is caught. Good hustle for the second out of the inning. We've got to retreat the runner again. It's Corey Julks now, who's been pretty good. Probably our best hitter, which doesn't say a whole lot. Pops it up. The Royals are under it, and Kansas City takes 3 of 4. A pivotal series loss for the White Sox, who continue to fall further and further and further, plummeting in the AL Central standings. We cannot afford to lose divisional games like this. The Royals just made up 2 games on us in this series because our offense wet the bed again. 5 hits, 2 walks. Cam Smith, 3-run homer. But the offense didn't give us enough, and Noah Schultz struggled. Bullpen was good, but Schultz and the offense not good enough. So we've got a rebound here against the Marlins. 5-4 here in this first game. Bottom of the 8th, 2 away. Huge opportunity here for Colson Montgomery with a full count. Draws a walk. We take that. The bases are loaded, and we are going to bring in Mike Trout off the bench. In his first week as a member of the White Sox, he's looked pretty good. I believe in our star in this big spot with the bases loaded. The 0-2 on the ground. It appears Mike Trout has been infected by can't hit with the bases loaded-itis. He has completed his humiliation ritual and is now officially a member of the White Sox. That ends up being the difference. Another loss for Chicago. That is now, again, 3 in a row, and 6 of our last 7 games. Not good. The offense, out-hit by the Marlins. We are getting out-hit by everyone. Dylan Lesko, 7 scoreless. We did get 4 in the 8th. Good little rally. 3-run homer by Caro. Higgins-Smith, another bad outing, though he continues to struggle. We split the last 2 games. We did win the third game 10-1 against the Marlins, but another series loss. Now against the Reds, trailing 3-2. Top of the 9th, 2 on, 2 away. Demon Schneemann, what you got for me? Pops it up into left. And we do not get the big hit out of even Daniel Schneemann. The losses continue to pile on. The Reds win this game 3-2. And our record just keeps getting worse and worse. That is now, I think, 8 of our last 11 games that the White Sox have lost. Schmidt homered. Wisniewski was okay. He needs to step up. He has been the least of our problems, though, in comparison to everyone else, but he's also regressed from last year. Here we are in the second game against the Reds. Tied at 2 into the top of the 9th. We have another 2 on, 2 out situation. This time it's Colson Montgomery, who's 1 for 3. Runners going with the full count as it's popped up again. Rodriguez will get out of it. It is caught at third base. And now Cincinnati has a chance to walk it off here in the bottom of the ninth. We'll see if they get the job done with the top of the order featuring Bryce Terang, who they poached from their rival Milwaukee. They do not score. That brings us into the 10th. 2 on, 2 away. Douglas Cato, our fastest runner at second base. And it's Kyle Teal. 209 on the year, 636 OPS. This does not look like the guy who was torching everybody in the playoffs last year. He pops it up into left center. The Reds taking advantage of the lefty-on-lefty matchup. Teal hit lefties oddly really well in spring training. It is not carried over, though, to the regular season. Rojas makes the play. We will travel into the 11th. Our bullpen is doing a great job of keeping us in the game. 2 on, 1 away for Brian Ramos, who's hitting like .330. His slugging is in the mid-600s. He's been awesome this year. As much as everybody on the offense has really struggled, Brian Ramos has been terrific and absolutely deserves his flowers. Can he give us a big hit here, however, as he whiffs on the curveball? We're even 1-1. Ramos is not good against left-handed pitching. I think a big reason why his numbers are so good is because he doesn't start against lefties. But he hits this one decently well. Into right field, not well enough. Another inning. That's 6 runners left on base over the last 2 innings. The Reds would walk it off in the 12th. Luis Ariz with an RBI single to win it 3-2. This was a 12-inning game. We had 39 at-bats. We ended up with 2 hits, including a 2-run homer by Dane Myers, albeit, but 2 hits. That's really bad. In 12 innings, 2 for 39. There's only so much the pitching can do at that point. We end up getting swept. We lose the last game 4-10. So we have lost 4 series in a row. We lost 2 of 3 against the Astros. We lost 3 of 4 against the Royals. At least this game the offense played well, but Jagger Haynes and Durangelo Sainja were throwing meatballs to the Royals. We lost 2 of 3 against Miami, and we got swept by the Reds, losing the last game 10-4. So during this stretch, we have 3 wins and an unfathomable 10 losses. We're 3-10. That's not good. For a team who was already 6 games under 500 coming into the day, that's a lot of games. We are 16-28. We're 7.5 out of the division. The only teams worse than us in the AL are the Blue Jays, who are 30th ranked, and the Angels, who are 27th ranked. Our batting average has gone down. We're only hitting .220. How is that possible? It was extremely bad the first month of the year and has gone lower since we talked about it. What a complete disaster. Jagger Haynes is scheduled to start against the Cubs. He has stunk. I'm not starting him. We're going to get a little bit creative with the pitching. We're also going to get creative with the hitting. We're not starting Framber Valdez. I'll explain what we're doing in a second. I do want to check in on the guys who we lost in free agency to see what we're missing out on. I kind of figured, hey, maybe losing these guys is the reason why we've struggled. Bryce Miller and Taj Bradley have been good but not great on a really bad Atlanta team. And then in Baltimore, Luis Robert has not been very good. Power's down, average is down. He's regressed a lot. We might have dodged a bullet by not signing him. Sure, he still is a 1 WAR. He's still a good defensive player and all that. But his offense has gone down a lot. And for a player who relies on athleticism, I could see him continuing to go down. Ketel Marte has also been painfully mediocre as well. So even if we had kept all those guys, the team wouldn't be playing well. The wheel is not the reason why our team is 16-28. The players on the team playing so badly is why we're 16-28. Brian Ramos has been balling, though. He's really the only guy. Him and Framber Valdez, I feel like, are the 2 guys who have consistently shown up for us time after time. Ramos is hitting nearly .410 over his last 9 games, just about. He's hitting for power. He's drawing walks. He's doing everything. He's been a revelation for us, and I don't want to take away from how good he has been. But everybody else has stunk, and we're going to make some changes in the lineup. Kyle Teal, Shane Schmidt, Cam Smith. You guys are not performing. You are going to the bench. Corey Julks is also on the bench, not because he's playing bad, but because he got injured in pregame warmups. But the other 3 guys, we're not giving them the day off. They are on the bench because of poor performance. They have not played well enough. We are shaking things up. We're getting everybody else out there to face off against Graham Ashcraft. And I'm hoping by holding our star players accountable for struggling, that this can be the turning point that we need. I thought maybe the Mike Trout comeback game and the Corey Julks homer against the Brewers would do that. Clearly not, as our team has been even worse in the month of May. Ramos grounds out to second. 1-2-3 inning. Not a great start for the White Sox B team. So I said we were going to be creative with the pitching. This is what I meant. Ezra Valenzuela is getting the start. His arm is extremely loose. He has not had to pitch a lot recently because we're not in save situations because we don't have the lead. We're not winning games. So we haven't really needed him. He's only thrown 14 2/3 innings. And when he's been out there, he really hasn't been that good, at least for his standards. Now, he has started games in the playoffs. He started one of the World Series last year, but has not yet started a game in the regular season, as he strikes out Jose Azocar, who's had a great year. He's hitting like 300, 8 home runs. That would be by far our best player. Jonathan India goes down looking on the curveball. Good pitch there by Ezra. That'll bring up Pete Alonso now. The 2-1 pitch is launched into left. Schneemann can only watch it fly. That baby is out of here. 376. The Cubs on the board first. They lead at 1-0. Given that we are a dozen games under 500, I don't know how many more chances we're going to have to right the ship until the Titanic sinks. So this series against the Cubs and this game, given the experimentation we're doing with the lineup and the rotation, it feels really pivotal. In a lot of ways, it feels like a must-win game. As we get the strikeout to end the inning on Colton Cowser. So Ezra strikes out 3, but he does allow the homer. We'll go into the second. I wanted to bench Edgar Caro too, truthfully, but we need somebody who can play catcher, and we have to fill out 9 slots in the lineup. And compared to the other stars, while he's been bad, he's been a little bit better. So I didn't really have a choice. I had to play him. Daniel Schneemann started the year off really well. He has cooled off, but he belts that one up the middle for a base hit. That's what we've got to do. We've got to stack runners. We've got to get hits. We've got to get singles. We don't need to swing for the fences. Let's just stack base runners. Get guys aboard. That's been the problem for this team throughout the year. Dane Myers has struggled over the last month or so. He's been really good defensively, though. He already is second in terms of his career WAR totals, but he grounds out to third. Pretty good start for Ashcraft in the Cubs, as he's only allowed 1 base runner through 2 innings. Chase Young gets a hold of this one to start the bottom of the second. One hops off the wall and right. Young aboard to second as he slides safely. Young bounced around a little bit, but has found a home with the Cubs. He's having a great year. All these guys are overperforming for the Cubs. A big reason why they're one of the best teams in the league. Couldn't be us, as Moses Ballesteros strikes out. Good pitch by Ezra. Now Matt Shaw, the 1-2. Gets popped on the inside cutter. Maybe next time. Another punch out for Ezra. He has gotten swing and miss on all 5 outs. But the guys who are hitting the ball are getting base hits. Trey Sweeney with a single. It's a blooper, but that will score the run. And the Cubs add to the lead. It's 2-0. Big time hit for Sweeney as he drives in his former Tiger teammate Jace Young. Chas McCormick to second. What a play by Kim, but he misses the throw. And E4 by Hyun Kim. I don't entirely blame him. It was a really hard play to make on the dive, but you got to make that throw. It was a makeable play. 2 on, 2 away. Azocar to third. Barney Wagner, who's had a really disappointing season. I mean, the entire team's been disappointing, but him in particular. He makes the play, but the Cubs add to the lead. So we're already down 2-0. I'm not even sure if the offense can score 2 runs. So it is not going to be easy to make this comeback as Hyun Kim strikes out. This was the team from last year I would feel confident, but everybody is either gone or not playing well. Douglas Cato's swinging a miss. He's hitting 145. He's not done well this year. Could be in line for a minor league demotion. Wagner's hitting 227. Contact should be the name of his game, but he goes down on the cutter. Ashcraft strikes out the side. Through 3 innings with our new look lineup, we have 1 base runner. I wanted to see this team make a loud and clear statement, and so far that has not happened. We're allowing runs, we're getting errors, and we're not hitting the ball as India singles into center. I feel like this game has been a microcosm of all of our problems. Here in the month of May, the offense continues to struggle, but it's not just the offense. The pitching's been bad in May. The defense has been bad. Everything is not good. Alonso strikes out. Cowser strikes out. And the runner is out at second. Edgar Caro ends the inning with a double play. There we go. That's something. We've been looking for a little bit of momentum, and Caro makes the play. 2-6 on the scorecard. India, Giants franchise legend, is clearly out. Into the fourth, we have one base runner today. We've got to start stacking them. There we go. Good at bat for Colson Montgomery. Take your base. He draws a walk. Leadoff man aboard. This is a big opportunity for Brian Ramos, who's mashing the cover off the ball. He hits this one high and deep into left center. Back at the track, at the wall. It is caught. Yeah, we were that close. That one stings because I don't know if we're going to have any other close opportunities to score this runner. Caro is up with one away, the 1-2. Cutter off of Ashcraft's foot. Makeable play from third. It's in time. That is also a microcosm of our season. Caro hits the ball well enough to go for a single, but it goes off of Ashcraft's foot, right into the glove of the third baseman, who makes the throw. That is unfortunate. Here's Schneemann, 1-2, swinging and miss. 4 shutty for Ashcraft. He's allowed 1 hit, 1 walk. That's it. That's not enough. Offense has got to get it together. They have been sticking their fingers in their rear end for 50 games now. When are we going to figure it out? As Ezra walks the first runner, Moses Ballesteros, swinging and miss. And on that pitch, Ezra hurt his finger. This team cannot catch a goddamn break. Jesus Christ. The injury pop-up said it could be a bruise that keeps him out for a few days or a break that could keep him out for a few months. That is quite the difference, so we are certainly hoping for good news. He'll be taken out of the game, and Bruno Merced will come out of the bullpen to replace him. 1-2 for Ballesteros. This one on the ground could get 2. Kim Montgomery over to first. And Ramos, it's a 4-6-3 double play. Let's get some momentum on the pitching front. I mean, I don't know what to expect offensively. I certainly do not have high expectations. But let's maybe avoid walking guys and giving them free passes, as Shaw will get aboard. The next batter is Trey Sweeney. Pops it up into the air. Myers under it. He'll make the play. So we don't allow any runs here in the fourth, but we also lose one of our most important pitchers, which really is not much better of an alternative. We'll go into the fifth. Our offense needs more than 1 hit. That is just not enough. Mike Trout swinging a miss. Trout got off to a great start, but I don't think he has a base hit in like 2 weeks. Dane Myers into left. There we go. It one hops off the wall. Around first, heads to second. A stand-up double. That's what we're looking for. Extra base hits. Get runners in scoring position. Give our guys opportunities to drive in runs. Runner at third, 2 away for Douglas Cato, who's been an automatic out this year. Flies it into right center, and sure enough, he is out. 5 scoreless innings for Ashcraft. A big opportunity for the offense to prove themselves without many of our star players in the lineup, and they haven't really been very good. We'll go bottom 5. Chas McCormick up for the Cubs, and he bloops this one into right. The Cubs have had some luck today with the bloop hits. I will say that. They're not winning because of it, but they have helped. So McCormick reaches to start the inning. Top of the order up. It's Jose Azocar on the ground. Gets by Kim. 2 on, nobody out. Great chance for the Cubbies to add to the lead even further. It's Jonathan India now behind in the count 1-2. With nobody out, this is a big spot for Merced, who's already been in a lot of jams early in his career. In the left, it gets by Schneemann, rolls to the wall, and will score both runners. 2-run double for Jonathan India, and it is a 4-0 ball game in favor of the Cubs. Bruno Merced does not do a good job out of the bullpen. He has not played well in May after he really started to look good at the end of April. It's disappointing that he's kind of taken another step back. His production this year has been very inconsistent. He will be replaced by Abner Uribe, who we acquired in the offseason from Milwaukee. Since he's an NL Central guy, he's certainly familiar with the Cubs. 5.56 ERA, hasn't played very well. I think Uribe is a really good player. He strikes guys out, doesn't allow hits, doesn't allow homers. I think his clutch rating is 99. He throws super hard, but you have no clue where the ball is going. His control is his weakness as he gets Colton Cowser to go down on the slider. Good pitch there by Uribe. Still with a runner in scoring position, it's Jace Young. The 2-2, and this one is skied high and pretty deep in the center. Cato chases after it. and he will make the play. Cubbies add 2 more runs with a 2-run double by Jonathan India. They lead it 4-0 as we go into the 6th. They will make a pitching change after 5 really good innings from Ashcraft, and it'll be the righty Steven Johnson, 3.79 ERA and 19 innings of work this year, who will replace him. First batter, Barney Wagner gets a hold of this one, and this baby's out of here in the left. Could that be the spark that we need offensively? 412 feet to put the White Sox on the board. We only had 2 hits through the first 5 innings, but Chicago, the Cubs that is, make a pitching change, and we immediately are already striking early. Here's Montgomery into the gap, walks into second with a double. Ashcraft only allowed 2 hits, only one of which was an extra base hit in 5 innings. First 2 batters against Johnson, homer, double. Do we add any more runs? Probably not, as this one will be caught in left from the bat of Daniel Schneemann. We do add 1. Feels like we could have gotten more, though, and really ignited a rally. But at least we're on the board, I suppose, as Moises Ballesteros goes down swinging. Great pitch by Abner Uribe. Trey Sweeney on the ground to short. Should be a routine throw for Colson Montgomery. Very good job out of the bullpen for Uribe. I was impressed with him. Even though he has struggled this year, I thought he played really well in this game as we move into the 7th. Johnson will not get a second inning, understandably so. He didn't play very well in the 6th. Daniel Palencia will replace him, 5.3 ERA. He'll face off against Mike Trout, whose average is down to 194. It is a small sample, and he is 38, but he's 0 for his last probably 15 as he goes down on the fastball. 2 away here for Hai-Sun Kim. This one is grounded over to first. Good scoop by Pete Alonso. He will make the play. Going into the bottom of the 7th, we will stretch, and then we'll see if the White Sox can keep the lead at 3. Another pitching change for Chicago. It is Jagger Haynes, the lefty, coming out of the bullpen for the first time this year. Maybe the change in his role will help him out. An ERA above 6 and an 0-4 record in 8 starts to open up the year. With his struggles, I feel like I can't keep in the rotation. We've got to make some changes in that regard. Throw the ball! What is he doing? Why did Hai-Sun Kim not throw the ball? That is as easy of a play as you can make. His second error of the afternoon, as Alonso sends this one into the gap, and that's going to score the run. An unearned run because of the error by Kim. Alonso only gets a single out of it, but it's 5-1. Colton Cowser now up for Chicago. Count is full of the 3-2. He goes down on the changeup. Hard to blame Jagger Haynes. He had a good inning. He did his job, but a second error by Hai-Sun Kim makes it a 4-point game again. The lefty Gregory Soto is out of the bullpen for the Cubs in the 8th. Wagner homered earlier, draws a walk. That's good. We don't need to go for the fences. We need to stack base runners and give some of our better hitters an opportunity to make a play. Cam Smith off the bench into left center. That one is gone. Pinch hit, home run for Cam Smith. By benching him, Schmidt, and Teal, I wanted to see if that would light a fire under these guys, and it looks like it might have worked for Cam Smith. The lead is within 2. We cut it in half. Still work to do, but a big-time swing by somebody who I know is a big-time player. Lucas Gilbreth will come out of the bullpen for the Cubs. He has not been good this year. ERA in the 6.7s. As Brian Ramos draws a walk. Tying run is at the plate. I don't want to get carried away here, but our offense is really starting to string together some big plays. Ooh, that is a good take. Down 1-2 from Edgar Caro, but he lets it go. 2-2 on the way from Gilbreth, and he puts it on the ground. I wish that last pitch was called a strike. I can't even get mad at Edgar. That was 107 off the bat. Not really his fault. Cam Smith as well, 2-run homer. Still a lot of work to do as we bring Tony Santillan in for the bottom of the 8th. I didn't really know what to expect with where the lead would be. I thought maybe we would keep Haynes in for another inning, but Santillan is loose. He's played really well this year. Sean to center. Cato makes the catch as we go into the top of the 9th. It is a 2-run deficit, and this could be, who knows, maybe the last true opportunity for Chicago to try to salvage the season. I know we're only in the middle of May, but being 12 games under 500 possibly in danger of being 13 under with a loss. I mean, that's the type of conversations we're having. This season is coming off the rails fast. Schmidt did not go around. We have brought him in off the bench to face the closer, Jason Foley, hoping that the benching can light a fire under him like it did Cam Smith. This ball is hit well into the opposite field. At the track, at the wall, it is gone! From benching to bombing. First Cam Smith, then Shane Schmidt. These guys took the decision personally, and they have really made their mark. The lead is within 1, as it's now 5-4. So Cam comes off the bench, he homers. Shane comes off the bench, he homers. What about Kyle Teal? Wouldn't it be storybook? He has 99 career homers. I mean, this would be the perfect script. You really thought we were in a Disney movie. With this team, with the White Sox? No, absolutely not. He grounds out to the pitcher. I mean, come on, what did you really expect there? Our only hope at this point is Corey Julks. I know he's injured, but I would rather a banged-up Corey Julks than just about anybody else on our team. As he grounds it over to short, Shaw makes the play, and the Cubs win it 5-4. We do not salvage the season here today against Chicago. We are 13 games under 500. I will choose to look at the positives. I thought we showed a lot of fight down the stretch. I thought the pitching was good late in this game. Over the last 4 innings, we did not allow an earned run. We're not going to talk about the error by Hyun Kim that inadvertently lost us the game. The offense was not good enough. We had 6 hits, but we made plays down the stretch. Cam Smith off the bench homered. Shane Schmidt off the bench homered. Those 2 guys got the kick in the pants they needed, and clearly it worked. Kyle Teal didn't, but I'm not that worried about him. I think he will come back to form. This is the same guy who was the best player in the majors in the playoffs last year, so I'm willing to give him a little bit more grace, even though his play has been unacceptable. Ezra Valenzuela only strained his finger. He will only be out for a few days. Bullet dodged. Now, we still have a lot of work to do. We're 16-29. That's 13 games under 500. Ezra will not go back to the rotation, at least for now. I don't think that'll be a regular thing. But maybe if there are scenarios like this one where he hasn't pitched in a while, maybe we will start him. I think it's a good idea. In theory, it didn't fully work in this game because he didn't pitch all that well. The unfortunate thing with this rotation, though, is we don't have any obvious call-up candidates. Emiliano Teodo has been horrible. CJ Breachin hasn't been very good. Boyce Merrifield, I think, is too raw. As much as Jagger Haynes and Hagen Smith have been bad, what other choices do we have? I don't want to mortgage the future in a trade. We're 13 games under 500. So I decided to look at free agency, look at a familiar name in Bryce Wilson, who was on our team in year 1, and he was great. Traded to the Padres, PED suspension, but had a really good year with the Rockies last year. Sub-2.5 ERA, playing for the Rockies of all teams. It's a little ironic that he was traded for Jagger Haynes in the year 1 offseason. Now 5 years later, he's replacing Jagger Haynes in the rotation. Time really is a flat circle. I appreciate the Reinsdorf family for letting us spend a little bit of money on this retirement home, but these are all one-year deals, and at the end of the day, $17 million is pennies to Jerry Reinsdorf. So Durangelo St. goes down to the minors. Wilson will go to the rotation. Haynes will go to the bullpen. I'm going to send Hyun Kim down to the minors as well. He has not been good offensively, and he just had 2 really bad errors against the Cubs. So we're going to bring up Chase Mydroff to replace him. Couple of big games against Chicago, and then the schedule for the rest of May is really hard. Mariners are great. Rangers are great. Mets are around 500 and super talented. So this could be trouble for us given that we're not a very good team. Here in Game 2 against the Cubs, top of the 10th, tied at 4, Shane Schmidt, kick in the pants clearly worked. He's a triple shy at the cycle. He has more homers in this series than outs, and his OPS is all of a sudden in the mid-700s, which really isn't that horrible, even though his average is only 212. 1-1 from Foley. This one grounded over to short. Schmidt does not make the play, but we would actually get another at-bat with him in the player lock challenge. We're going to fast forward into the 12th. Ramos single. Alcantara ties it, and then Kyle Teal starts the top of the 12th by giving us the lead. So he's at first. Gilbreth against Schmidt. Blocked at first. Alonso gets the 1 out. We do move the runner up to scoring position with 1 away. Will this be enough to win the game? Let's see. We don't score Teal. Brian King looking to get the save, and he does. So we win Game 2 against Chicago 6-5. That's a big win for us. In extras, it took us 12, but we find a way to get the job done. We out-hit the Cubs 11-5. I love seeing that. The offense played really well. We had 7 walks. Schneemann homered. Schmidt was great. Cato finally homered. Framber Valdez, the usual stuff. Bullpen made it a little dicey, though, late. We had another error as well. Let's win the series on the road against a really good Cubs team. We are up 8-6, top of the 9th. Mike Trout is back. 2 homers, 3 for 3. He's drawn a walk. He's driven in 3 runs. He's looking for a third long ball and does not get it. He goes down on the slider. Can Ezra Valenzuela, or I guess not Ezra, I guess whoever the new closer would be, probably Jojo Romero, get the save? And he would. So we win the game 8-6, and we win the series against Chicago. That's a big deal. We had not won a series since the very first one today against Milwaukee. We lost 2-1 against the Astros, 3-1 against the Royals, 2-1 against the Marlins, and we got swept by the Reds. So that's a big deal. 8 hits, 8 walks, very good plate discipline. Caro went deep, Trout had the 2. Wisniewski was not good, but the bullpen played really well. Shout out the guys in the back end to finish things off. So we win this series against Chicago. That's great, but we still have a lot of work to do. Our next 9 games are going to be really tough. Here against Seattle, it's 5-3 here in this first game. Big spot for Trout, swing and a miss on the slider. Big punch out for Andres Munoz. Tying run at first, winning run at the plate. It's Barney Wagner, the 1-1. Wagner, a blooper into left. That'll go for a hit. We are going to send both of the runners. Play at the plate. Not in time. It's 5-4. Tying run 90 away from home. Winning run is aboard. Oh, man, this is a huge spot for the top of the order. It will not be against Andres Munoz, but instead Eli Morgan out of the bullpen for the Mariners. The leadoff hitter is up, that being Dane Myers. First pitch, Myers hits it well, into left, at the wall. It is caught. We were maybe a couple feet away from walking it off, winning our 3rd straight game, and possibly an energy changer for the season, but we just miss out, and the Mariners win it 5-4. Joey Lincoln, the former top 3 pick, all the way back in year 1, played really well. He's having a great year, 2.57 ERA, only letting up 1 run in 6 1/3. 7 hits, 2 walks. Myers homered and nearly had a second one. I think Noah Schultz is the reason why we lost. He looked really good early in the year. I thought we had turned a corner, but now he's back to struggling like last year. We're giving this guy $125 million, remember. We need him to be good. With Drew Thorpe's injury and the back of the rotation looking shaky, he has to play better. I said going into the year he was our X factor. He has not lived up to the billing, and obviously the rest of the team, as we see, also is not. We'll continue with this Seattle series. Bottom of the 9th inning, the bases are loaded in a game that we are down 4-2. This is the second game. Colson Montgomery rips it up the middle right to second. That hurts. You can't even get mad at Colson. That was 115 miles an hour off the bat. Right to the second baseman's glove. That's just bad luck. The Mariners win the second game here against the White Sox and are looking for the sweep. After taking the last 2 against the Cubs, I thought we had turned the corner. I think over these last 2 games, the endings have been a little unlucky, with Myers nearly homering and Montgomery blasting a ball right to second. But the fact of the matter is, we also didn't do enough in the first 8 innings of the game to where those plays did not decide the game. Bullpen was great. Hagen Smith was Offense was We did win the last game, though, 3-1. That's encouraging. Kyle Teal, 3-run homer. Bryce Wilson, welcome back to the White Sox. 6 innings, a 1-run ball. Oh, my God, we're up 14-0, and Framber Valdez is pitching a no-hitter. Whoa, okay, that's something. We have 18 hits. They have none. Talk about a turning point. I think we might have found it right here. We are dominating them. 14-0. That's a football score. The Bears are beating the Cowboys 14-0. Well, you know that's not realistic because it involves the Bears winning. Here's Wyatt Langford. Got him looking on the circle change. Valdez only has thrown 1 walk. He was this close to a potential perfect game, as now it's Corey Seager. This one is popped into the air. It's got a chance to drop, and it is caught. 7 no-hit innings for Framber Valdez. I know the smart decision is to take him out because we're up 14-0. If he allows a hit, I will take him out. If not, though, I'm going to give him the opportunity to get the milestone. He's only at 79 pitches. Looking for the Maddox, possibly. Benson pops it up. Teal is under it, and he will make the play for the first out of the inning, and we are 5 hits away from the no-hitter. It would be the first of the series. Josh Naylor now up for the Rangers. The 2-1. That one goes for a hit. I cannot get this dude, Josh Naylor, out of my damn nightmares. His team has beaten the Tigers in the playoffs 2 years in a row, and now this. The no-hit bid is dead for Valdez. We're going to take him out of the game. We're up 14-0. It would be foolish to let him go any further as he gets a round of applause from his manager, encouraging the fans to give him a well-deserved hand. What a season it has been for Framber Valdez. What a game. If we turn things around here, he will be a big reason why. And if not, then he might get us a lot at the trade deadline. Jagger Haynes will come out of the bullpen. Ahmed Rosario, an RBI triple to cut the lead all the way to 13 as we win the game 14-1. Wow. Where has this been for the last 2 months, guys? We did nothing for 50 games. We were 18-31 going into the game. Now we choose to dominate. Better late than ever. We scored multiple runs in each of the first 6 innings. That is absurd. How many times has that happened in Major League history? Teal homered. Myers homered. Wagner went deep. Montgomery even homered. Julks had 5 hits. Teal had 4. Myers had 4. Barney had 3. Cam Smith got hit by pitch twice. And then Valdez was terrific. 7 1/3, 1 hit, 1 walk, no runs. He is a damn machine. So will this be the moment where everything changes for this team? We thought the stretch against the Brewers would be the turning point. We thought the rallies against the Cubs would be the turning point, but maybe it's this. Now, we're still dead last in average by a lot, even with a 20-hit game. But guess what? We swept the Rangers 3-1 and 3-2. Offense wasn't great, but they didn't need to be great. The pitching was phenomenal. In this first game, Caro 2-run shot. Wisniewski nails. In the third game for the sweep, Osvaldo Bido 7 scoreless, but we made some plays at the plate when we needed to. And then on the mound, Noah Schultz. I called him out. I said he needed to be better. 7 scoreless. He was certainly better. Got away from Ezra late, though. He continues to not play up to his standard. So we've won 4 games in a row. We just swept one of the best teams in the AL. We've got to keep it rolling. Tied at 1, top of the 7th here in this last game against the Mets. We split the first 2, so we're looking to win the series. Runners on the corners. Kyle Teal sends it in the left. That goes for a hit. It's 2-1. The energy feels like it's shifting a little bit against good teams. We beat the Cubs. We kept it competitive with the Mariners. We swept the Rangers, and now we've got a chance to beat the Mets. Caro 2-run single, although Ryan Clifford gets a 2-run hit right back. Bottom of the 9th, the Mets have a runner aboard, 2 away. It's Francisco Lindor. Ezra looking for the save. Montgomery, throw to first, is in time. Another series win for Chicago. We're starting to build momentum. Now, we still have a very long ways to go. But it feels like the energy of this team, which was doom and gloom for 50 games, has changed a little bit. The pitching has been great over the last week or so. Framber Valdez did allow a run this time. His ERA is down to 1.75. He is maybe the best pitcher in the league. I mean, I feel like whenever we have him out there every 5th day, it's like a guaranteed win. And then we win like 20% of the rest of our games. But nonetheless, we're improving. 24-32. We're still in last in the division. We're still towards the bottom of the AL playoff picture. We still need a lot to go our way. But the team is turning it around. So there were a few games I thought about. The Royals are first in the division. The Rangers are really good. I kind of want to play one of those two. But I feel like we got to play Baltimore. First game against Luis Robert and Ketel Marte. Lubov had a rough month of May. I mean, this signing has been a disaster for the Orioles. And as much as this year's gone bad for us, we might have dodged a bullet. He was not good in April, but he's been horrible in May. Ketel Marte has been okay. I mean, he's been better than Lubov, but still not great. I don't know what the deal is with Luis Robert. I get that, he's getting a little bit older. He's a guy who relies on his athleticism, and I said this. in the offseason episode, and that's why I was hesitant about giving him a long-term contract to begin with, even before the wheel forced us not to. I didn't think it would be this quick. However, I didn't think it would take 2 months for him to become awful. The pitching's been great. In our last 7 starters, 2.72 ERA. Bullpen in our last 9, 1.41 ERA. We've won 6 of our last 7 games as a team. Cam Smith, though, has really struggled. Over his last 27 games, that's an odd sample, he's hitting 187, which that mark is quite a bit higher than his actual average throughout the year. That 187 is a hot streak for his season. That is a problem. Here's a look at both lineups. Lou Bob in the 4 slot, Marte in the 5th. Kyle Bradish, or should I say Sile Bradish, the 2027 Cy Young winner, on the bump for the O's. Not looking the part this year, 2-6, 5.03 ERA. Corey Julks leads things off. He continues to be probably our best hitter. I mean, he still hasn't been elite. The bar's on the floor, but he's been good this year. He draws a walk. Barney Wagner into center. That one gets over the glove of Luis Robert. I feel like he would have made that play in Chicago. It's a double for Wagner. We're going to hold Julks at third. There's nobody out. No reason to do something stupid. And so we've got runners in scoring position and a really nice chance to do some damage. Edgar Caro, full count, 1 away, draws a walk. Bases are loaded. That's not the best case scenario, though, for us because it does set up a force out at every base. Shane Schmidt, you better not put it on the ground. That's certainly not on the ground. It's hit very high and deep into center. Caught by La Pantera. He's got a great arm, but not great enough to get it all the way home. It's a successful sacrifice for Shane Schmidt, and the White Sox are on the board. It is a 1-0 lead. We'll gladly take that. That'll bring up Brian Ramos, who has gone ice cold. Ever since we gave him credit, his average has plummeted. Until now! In the left. If it's fair, it's gone. See ya! 397 for Ramos. What a start for a White Sox team who has struggled to consistently score 4 runs throughout the course of the year. We just did it in the first inning. 8th long ball of the season for Ramos amongst the leaders on the team. So already, Chicago with the early lead to start the series in Baltimore against an Orioles team who's 4 up on us in the wild card race. We could do some damage if we perform well in these 3 games on the road as Myers goes down looking, but a great start. Ramos 3-run shot, 4-0 lead, a lot of run support for Hayden Wisniewski, who's taken a step back from last year, especially in terms of his whip, more than doubling. He's a lot more base runners. His ERA hasn't gone up that much, but he has not been the same guy. Ripped down the line, Smith deflects it, and there will be no play at first. An unconventional single, but a single nonetheless for Jarren Duran, who gives the Orioles a leadoff runner. Kenny Thompson is hitting .319 with 99 speed. He is having a great year. Duran also super fast, stealing second. So he is in scoring position. Thompson did strike out, though. 2 away now for Luis Robert against his former team. .222 average on the year as he goes down on the slurve. Good pitch by Wisniewski gets us through the bottom of the first inning, where it remains 4-0 in favor of the White Sox. We'll see if the offense can really do some early damage off of Bradish. Mike Trout's first game back in Baltimore. He has spent the last 3.5 years with the Orioles. We're hyping up the Luis Robert revenge game, but it is for Mike Trout as well. He draws a walk. That's already 3 led up by Bradish through the opening trip down the lineup. Full count, 2 away for Wagner. On the ground to second. That one is bobbled. It's an E4. An error against Baltimore on Ketel Marte. And now we've got 2 on, 2 away. What an opportunity for Teal, who swings at the outside sinker. Great pitch by Bradish. Hit that one well, though, into center. Luis Robert makes the play. But the White Sox still up 4-0. We do leave 2 aboard there. Could have gotten some damage, especially with the error by Marte. Bottom 2. Ben Rice, only hitting .175, is up for the Orioles. 3-1. That's a ball? I think that was in the zone. I think the umpire got that one wrong. He reaches base. That'll bring up Edward Julian, the former Minnesota Twin. He finds himself behind in the count 1-2. And he goes down on the slurve. What a pitch by Wisniewski in the dirt. Makes him swing out of his shoes. Top of the 3, it's Edgar Caro up for Chicago. That one nearly kills Bradish. A leadoff single into center field. Another base runner here for Chicago. We're doing a phenomenal job of getting guys on in terms of hits, walks. We're doing great at getting guys on, stacking base runners, and apparently lining out double plays. What a snag at first to turn two. It's Ben Rice who does it for Baltimore. Not a whole lot we could have done there. Just bad placement with the ball and good defense as Ramos hits it up the middle, his second of the game. A near 120-mile-an-hour single. That was a piss missile off his bat. Myers, 3-1, rips it into left. Aggressive ahead in the count. That was on the edge of the zone, but it pays off. 2 on, 2 away for Cam Smith, who grounds it over to third, tags the base. 2 more runners left on. Yes, having a 4-0 lead is fun, but we've also left 4 runners on base over the last 2 innings, and we could be up by way more. 2-2, Kenny Thompson, blooper into left. Julks after it, and he makes the play. I was a little worried there with Thompson's 99 speed. If that ball falls, he's getting probably 2 and has a ton of room to run with Jackson Holliday and Luis Robert, the next 2 guys up. Julks, 3-1. Top 4, 1 away. He singles into right. We're just stacking base runners left and right. This has been such a good start offensively, even though we haven't done well with guys on base. We're just getting them on so effortlessly. Another hit as Kobe Mayo does not make the play at the hot corner. Wagner gets an infield single. We just keep stacking them up, and at some point we're going to be due to drive some of these guys in and blow the doors of this game wide open. Roldy Munoz is out of the pen for Baltimore, a young player who has stuck around. He's developed here, and he's played really well. Sub-3 ERA here in 2030 as Edgar Caro strikes out, and that is yet again 2 more runners left on base. I know I have praised the offense today, given their shortcomings throughout the year, but come on, that's 3 innings in a row. We've left multiple runners on base. What are we doing? Bottom 4, Holliday leads it off for Baltimore. Loops it into left. Julks does not make the play. A leadoff single. Holliday is quite fast as well. So he is aboard for Luis Robert. Holliday goes for second. Throw from Teal is not in time. A little bit offline. Holliday in scoring position with nobody out. Big spot for Lubob. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. He's 0 for 2. Pair of punch-outs. His average below 220. That's lower than our average as a team. And that says something because we can't hit. Marte goes down as well. The high 4-seam fastball. Wisniewski, 5 punch-outs today. Will he strike out this side? 2-2. Ben Rice. It's over to third. Smith sets his feet. Will not tag the runner. Instead, throws Rice out at first. So 4 really solid innings from Hayden Wisniewski. I think he's pitched a great game so far, especially considering he hasn't really been all that good throughout the course of the year. Ramos swinging a miss early in the 5th, unable to get that 3rd hit of the game. Good job there by Roldy Munoz, who's doing a really good job. Dane Myers splits it between the third baseman and the shortstop. A 2nd hit this evening for Myers. His average around 250. It was a lot lower than that going into the month. He's been a big part of the turnaround. When the team was struggling, he was struggling. Now he's playing well, so is the rest of the team. Smith pops it up into right center. His average has not gone up. Even with the big homer off the bench in the Cubs game, it didn't really change anything. I think his average has gone down. Still 4-0. We leave yet another runner on base. That is 7 now in this game over the last 4 innings. Can the Orioles get anything going? Julian goes down on the inside cutter. Nice pitch by Wisniewski. Kobe Mayo, they've had him on the trade block for about 5 years. I don't know how they have not traded him yet. He sends it in the gap. Myers looks to get to it quickly. It'll roll all the way to the wall. Myers has good range in center field. He's got a great arm, but he is no Luis Robert. A 1-out double, now 2 away for Jarren Duran. The 1-1. Duran into left. That ball will fall. They're going to look to score the runner. The throw to the plate is not in time. An RBI single for Jarren Duran. And the Orioles are on the board as it is 4-1. Roansy Contreras is out of the pen. 4.46 ERA on the year. As there's a 2-2 count here for Mike Trout. And he will whiff on the fastball. As I mentioned earlier, the strikeouts have been a problem through Trout throughout his career. Now, especially with regression, he has one of the lower plate vision ratings in the entire league. So the swing and miss stuff, you'll see it quite a bit with him. Corey Julks goes down on the high fastball as well. Give Baltimore's pitching staff credit. Yeah, we've gotten a lot of base runners, but we haven't scored since the first inning. We had the big 4 spot. We've left 7 guys on base since. Here is Jackson Holliday up the middle. Base hit to lead off the frame. I'm going to stick by Wisniewski. I think his pitch count's in a pretty good spot. He's played well throughout the game. I believe in one of our better pitchers to keep us afloat as Luis Robert swings and misses again. He's been horrible at the plate. I see why he's struggling. His approach, which was so good in the playoffs, especially in the World Series, he's swinging at everything. Then Rice is up. He hits this one well into right. Holliday was already running, so he's got a head start and will score without any problem. A 2-out, full count, RBI double for Ben Rice, and it's 4-2. We're going to keep Wisniewski in for, I guess, one more batter. It's Edward Julian, the 1-1. And that one is crushed! No doubt about it into right center. 450 feet. We are tied at 4. Baltimore's offense was largely lifeless for most of the game. We decided to stick with Wisniewski, and that proved to be a very bad decision. We're going to yank him out of the game. 5 2/3 innings, 4 runs allowed. He'll be replaced by the veteran righty, Edwin Uceta, who's been pretty solid this year. 3.12 ERA in 26 innings. Not popping off the page, but he's been very respectable. Facing off against Kobe Mayo, hitting .220. Count is full, the 3-2, and a tie game now as he goes down on the fastball. Big inning, though, for Baltimore. RBI double for Ben Rice. 2-run shot by Edward Julian. We're knotted up at 4. We haven't scored since the first inning, and now there's a sense of urgency. Chris Bubich, the 2028 reliever of the year, is in. 2.15 ERA here in 2030. Edgar Caro, good at bat, very good at bat. He draws a walk and is aboard here with 1 away. We'll see if this is our opportunity to get the lead back. Brian Ramos is up. He's going up against the lefty. He doesn't usually hit the ball very well against lefties, but he smokes that one. It is caught by Rice. Remains tied at 4. We'll stretch. We'll head to the bottom of the 7th. We'll see if the Orioles can keep the momentum rolling and take the lead. Uceta remains in the game for the White Sox, facing off against Jarren Duran. The 2-2. Swinging a miss on the 4-seamer. Good pitch by Uceta. Kenny Thompson now. He's been quiet in this one. 0 for 3. Count is full. The 2-2. 2 away. Swinging a miss on the high fastball. Uceta gets us through 7. It remains tied at 4. Let's hop into the 8th. The veteran lefty Robert Garcia, signed in free agency, is in for Baltimore. He's had a terrific year. .77 ERA. Opposing batting average around 150. He's been terrific. Dane Myers. Couple hits in this one, but he goes down on the inside fastball. Mike Trout, the 1-1. Trout ignites it into left. The former Oriole turns back the clock. It goes 466. What year is this? Are we in 2030 or are we in 2016? I mean, holy smokes. He absolutely crushed that ball against the guy in Garcia who's only allowed 2 homers all year. Yeah, kick rocks, Jackson Holliday. Julks now with a long ball into left. And that baby is gone. It's 6-4. 404 feet for Julks. And Garcia has now doubled his earned run total in 1 outing. Couple of huge homers for Mike Trout and Corey Julks. Those 2 guys' average age is 36. Unks are still getting it done. Brian Baker out of the pen, 2.52 ERA. Giants franchise legend last year, even if it was for a very, very short time. Wagner lines out to right. Good inning, though. We get 2. A Mike Trout moon piss missile. I don't know what I was going for. I'll keep it in there because it was funny. Looks like he was about 25 years old swinging that bat. And then Corey Julks does as well. We'll go bottom 8. Brian Kenya's in. He's quietly been great. 2.05 ERA. What a phenomenal trade acquisition he has been from the Astros as he gets Jackson Holliday to go down looking. It's been a tough one for Luis Robert. 0 for 3. 3 strikeouts. Jesus Christ. I can't help but feel bad. I mean, this is the same guy who was our superstar for 5 years. What happened? He looks broken. Here's Marte. Rips it into the gap. That'll go for extra bases. Myers at the wall. 2-out double. Tying run is at the plate for the Orioles. They've got a huge opportunity. It was the middle of the order that gave them their big production back in the 6th to tie it. Rice at the RBI double. As he lines it to third, it's caught by Smith. The decision to have him play closer to the foul line clearly paid off. The shift, a success. It remains 6-4 as we go into the 9th inning looking to close the deal. Maybe add a little insurance possibly. Here's Schmidt, average at 190. Grounds it to second. Marte makes the play. And we'll go into the bottom of the 9th up by 2. Ezra Valenzuela has regressed compared to his first and second season, but it is still Ezra Valenzuela. He's still 12 of 14 in save ops. He still has an ERA below 3. It's not like he's been bad. He only has one loss this year. That might have been the Cubs game that he started, unironically. I'm not 100% sure. But here's Kobe Mayo with one away. Behind in the count, 1-2, 1 for 3 today as he goes down looking on the curveball. And the game comes down to the number 9 hitter, that being Francisco Alvarez, the catcher. Behind in the count, 1-2. Ezra looks to seal the deal as this one is flown into right. The former Oriole, Mike Trout, is under it. He makes the play, and the White Sox win it 6-4. Trout, in his first game against Baltimore, with the big homer in the 8th inning to put us ahead. Luis Robert, in his first game against the White Sox, 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts. That was really hard to watch on his end. As much as I want to pat myself on the back for not paying him, I just can't help but feel bad. I mean, he's been a franchise icon for us for a decade, and he has completely forgotten how to play baseball. I mean, it is really depressing. I'm glad it's not our problem, but geez, he has been rough. We got 4 runs in the first. We struggled with runners on base after that, but the homers by Trout and Julks were enough. Wisniewski was great through 4 innings. We clearly kept him in too long. Bullpen, though, they got us. Shout out Edwin Uceta. Shout out Ezra Valenzuela. Shout out Brian King. Those guys did their jobs. So we win the first game in Baltimore, continuing our impressive stretch against pretty good teams. Baltimore not quite as good as the opponents we've seen, but they're no slouch, right around 500. So I don't really know where we're going to simulate to. Again, I think it's just going to be wherever feels right. Maybe one of the Kansas City games, maybe one of the games against Texas. Those are 2 teams I've got my eye on. The Rangers are really good again, and the Royals are in first in the division. So against Baltimore, we ended up taking 2 of 3, and that brings us here against Detroit. This is the first game back at home. We're down 4-3, bottom 9. Edgar Caro draws a walk. Okay, so we've got a runner aboard and a chance to do some damage. Tying run at second, winning run at first. It's Julks. Got him looking! Great pitch by Tanner Scott for the first out of the inning. Cam Smith is hitting 163. That injury in the playoffs and his struggles in the World Series might have broke him, but he hits this one high and deep and a right. Back at the track, at the wall. It is in play! Stuck in the corner. We've got to get these runners going. The play at the plate is not in time. We're tied. I thought they were going to get Ramos out. The throw was clearly ahead of the runner, but it was a really bad throw. So Ramos is safe. Edgar Caro, the winning run is at third. Keegan Thompson is in the game with 1 away to face off against Dane Myers. I'm surprised they're not going for the intentional walk. Try to get a force out at every base for the possibility of the double play against the worst bases loaded team ever. They didn't really give Myers too many pitches to hit, but he got that one to win it. Into center. That one is caught. Great catch by Max Clark, but it will not matter. A sacrifice winner. Caro scores and the White Sox walk it off. 5-4. Cam Smith, who would have thought, and Dane Myers come up big. We take the first against Detroit. So the game was a 1-run deficit, 3-2 into the bottom of the 8th. We tied it. The Tigers took the lead, but then we win it in the bottom of the 9th. Good start for Tarek Skubal. Bryce Wilson was That'll bring us into game 2. It's 3-2, bottom of the 7th. Edgar Caro is a 10-game hitting streak alive as he bolts that one over to second. Luis Rengifo will make the play. We'll see if we get another chance to hop in, and we would in the bottom of the 9th. Take a look at this situation. The tying run is at second. The winning run is at first, and there's 1 out. Remains 3-2. Tanner Scott blew the save in the loss last night as Caro fouls off the circle change. We'll show the hole at bat. This is a big one for our season. We just got a walk-off in the first game. The team overall is improving. I wouldn't say playing great, but getting a lot better, as that one is fouled off again behind 0-2. Caro looking to be the hero. A base hit probably ties it. An extra base hit probably wins it. And a home run sends this place into a frenzy as he looks at the inside fastball. Good take. Count is now 1-2. Caro looking to be patient. We don't want to force the issue here as it remains 1-2. Oh, that was a good take. Slider up and in. That did hit the corner of the zone. That probably should have been called a strike. 2-2 for Caro. Fouls off another one. Very competitive at bat. These guys are dueling. Couple of former All-Stars. Haven't made it in a few years, both of them. The 2-2 for Caro. Pops it up. Oh, man, that is brutal. William Contreras under it. He makes the play. And now the White Sox are down to their final out. So the following batter, the number 5 hitter, would draw a walk, that being Cam Smith. That brings up Brian Ramos with the bases loaded. A single could win the game, but an out ends it. So a huge spot here for Brian Ramos. We just got the walk-off last night. We'll see what he can do here. We're obviously going to hop into the game here. I'm not going to simulate this moment. This feels like one of the biggest, most pivotal parts of our season so far. And if we can get back-to-back walk-off wins against Detroit, who's ahead of us in the AL Central standings, that will be huge. The 0-1 pitch is hit well into left center. It's got some carry. At the track, at the wall, it is gone! Walk-off grand slam! Brian Ramos wins it for Chicago. Are you kidding me? What a moment for Brian Ramos, who's had a terrific season. An exclamation point. We take the first 2 of 4 against Detroit. The White Sox might be back, folks. These guys are playing some good ball. We've won 6 of our last 7 games. We've won 9 of our last 11. These guys are playing amazing. We have completely turned it around against good teams. We were losing to the bad teams on the schedule, but now we're beating all the good teams. It doesn't really make sense. Baseball doesn't make sense. And look, we cannot get too carried away. We're still a lot of games under 500. We're still in last place in the division, and we're still far away in the AL playoff picture. We are in no way in a good position whatsoever. But it is extremely encouraging to see the team not just showing a fight and showing a pulse, but actually playing good baseball. The offense is starting to turn it around. The team numbers are still bad, but they're improving. Ramos, the walk-off grand slam. Valdez was not great. His worst outing of the year. Bullpen was excellent, however. In the last 2 games we split, including a 9-0 win. That brings us to the first of 3 against the AL Central leading Royals. Kyle Teel looking for a 3rd home run. He doesn't get it. But he does get another base hit, a 109-mile-an-hour single. So the Royals have found us in a similar spot that we were in against Detroit. Bases loaded. Tying run is at the plate. 2-2. Rodolfo Castro got him looking. Ezra with the save. And we take the first against the Royals, 8-4. That's a big win. If we can win this series, that would be gigantic and go a long way in pushing us back in the division race. We won 3 of 4 against Detroit. Now we win the first against the Royals. We only need to win 1 more to take the series. I would love to, maybe win both, but we'll see what happens. Offense playing well again. We out-hit them 13-8. I'd love seeing that. That has not been the case the first 50 games of the year, but we're getting guys on base. We're hitting singles. This is exactly what this team had been missing for 2 months, essentially. Teel homered twice, Ramos homered again, Trout homered again. We did have 4 errors, though. That is a problem. All 4 runs Hagen Smith allowed were unearned. Douglas Cato, ACL sprain. It was only a matter of time. Only out for a week or 2, though. We'll bring up Yason Morabel to replace him. He has outplayed Braden Montgomery in AAA. Barney Wagner, fractured forearm. That sucks. He's been playing some good ball as we go into the series against the Astros. What also sucks is we lost the next 2 games against Kansas City. So that really halts some of the momentum that we've been building. The Royals add to the lead in the division. But we're looking pretty good in H-Town. We won the first game. We're up 3-1. Make it 4-1 in the second game as Julks digs for 3. He is safe. An RBI triple for Corey Julks. The hit streak goes up to 11. The lead goes up to 3. Should be enough for us to win the game, win the series here against Houston. We're up 2-0, looking to get the sweep and give ourselves a good spot going into the Texas series, and we lost. How? I cannot wait to see this box score. This is going to be interesting. So they got all 5 of their runs, interestingly, in the 7th. Edwin Uceta allowed 4 of them, Santillan the other. Not great. Uceta's had a good year, but, I mean, you can't do that. He lost us the game. Oswaldo Escobedo is healthy in time for the Texas series, so I think this is a good place to stop. We're playing pretty good in June. We are 32-37, which still is not where we want to be, but we're making progress. Noah Schultz, 8 scoreless innings and a 7-0 win against Baltimore. All 7 of our runs came in the last 2 innings. Against Detroit, we ended up scoring 9 runs against the Tigers in this one. Schneemann, Schmidt, Caro go deep. Wisniewski with a shutout. 9-4 in the first game against Houston. Kyle Teal with a 3-run homer. We had 15 hits, 4 walks. Wisniewski against his former team was pretty good. And then the last game we won 6-0. We're getting some really good individual pitching performances, even though the pitching unit as a whole has not been great. We're having some really strong, inconsistent starts. Hagen Smith, 8 scoreless. Where's that been all year? His best game of the season. Love to see it. 32-37 is obviously not where we want to be. We're still in last place in the division, and we still have a lot of ground to make up in the AL wildcard race. But we're playing some good baseball. At one point, we were 18-31. We were 13 games under 500. Since then, we have won 14 of our last 19. 236 average. I know it's 28th, which is not good, but it's a lot better than it was. So I think next episode, we're probably going to make it up to the trade deadline. We're going to get through the All-Star stuff and the draft. I'm still trying to figure out how I'm formatting things with the series, obviously with the change in pace as we continue to move quicker. And we're really going to figure out where this team is. We've got the Phillies at the end of July, World Series rematch. If you think things are bad for us, they have 25 wins. They are one of the worst teams in baseball. So as much as we have been really disappointed, if you put things into a broader perspective, there are some teams in a lot worse shape than us. And hopefully we can continue to carry the momentum that we've built since the end of May into the next episode. Hope you guys enjoyed, even though our team decided to troll around for the first 50 games of the year. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new. Peace out.